RachelLloyd. Unbelievable race today. Now, how come a gal that normally has to wear glasses goes really well in awful weather? Because you always get a good result when it's raining, it seems like.
I don't know how to explain that. I guess I just stay loose and flow with it. I really can't see very well without my glasses.
Yeah, because at one point you started with them and then you had to throw them off, I believe, or all of a sudden you just didn't have them on.
No, I started without them. I wore contacts, but I don't usually, so it's very, very different for me.
There's a degree to it that I was wondering if it's just you just try to stay out of the back wheels of everybody else. It's a lot easier to see if you're on the front. Yeah. I won a lot of races because I was a chicken shit and I just went off the front that way.
Yeah, that helps, but I mostly just really tried to stay loose and capitalize where I could on the race course. I think I'm a better downhiller than most of the girls, so that helps, you know, when it gets sloppy, and I just stay off the brakes and slide through the turns and stuff.
You are famous for peaking at the right moments and hitting just some good events. Last year you were very good at Domaine Chandon, and you seem to be coming on. A lot of people said, well, Rachel's not doing the national circuit, so they wrote you off, but you were brilliant today. Tell me about your fitness and your planning coming into this event and then carrying that right through Portland in the nationals. And this is where I extend the question as long as I can while the fucking plane goes overhead. And hopefully we get that plane out of there in 3, 2, 1. But basically, peaking for nationals, it really is hard to pick your moment. You seem to be on form.
Well, I have to thank my coach, Dario Frederick, for that. He pretty much did the same thing last year. I don't really want to spill all the secrets, but motor pacing has been really key for me. And, you know, when I'm riding fast, it just happens, and I don't really feel like I'm that strong, but I'm going fast, and I'm going fast when it matters, so that's what counts.
Now, I've seen you go very good on some fast courses, but you really do well when it's really sloppy, and you credit a lot of that with downhilling. In terms of cyclocross being the real mixture of every element of cycling, on any given day, a road racer or a downhiller, the whole spectrum can benefit by a change in conditions. Tell me about that, really how almost Marla Streb has been a fairly good cross racer, and Alison Dunlap, as well as some road racers like Lynn Bissett. Tell me about all the different elements you have to throw into a cross race.
Well, like today there was a pretty extended road section, and I do a lot of training on the road now specifically for cross and especially with motor pacing, and that really paid off because I was turning the cadence really well, and on the flat stuff I could recover and still go pretty fast. And then the really sloppy conditions on the downhills, it helps to be a mountain biker as well and be able to, you know, go fast on the road and flat and be able to fly on the downhills.
In terms of just cross for a rider, you've really done very well by sticking your season another 3 months and really have gotten, you know, what we talk about, the signal to noise ratio, that doing good in cross is really good for your career in terms of just getting magazine pictures, getting results. It's really paid off for RachelLloyd. Tell me about that for other riders that really just go, I can't do cross because it's not good for my career. It's actually worked for a lot of riders, and you're one of them.
Well, I don't know about that. My career's really not all it seems to be. I really love cross. It's so great. It's such a neat little cult kind of sport. I don't know if I should say that. And I've just done it because it's one of the aspects of cycling that I've done the best at. I've got the best results at, so it's hard for me not to do it. This last year I didn't race anything else but cross. I hadn't raced for 8 months, actually, coming into the cross season, so I think that's why it's taken me a while to get winded up, get going fast. But yeah, there's not a whole lot else going on in the winter, so they got to cover races, and so they put cross in. So I mean, the most coverage I've had has been from cross, so it helps.
Just in terms of NorCal, the NorCal heritage, you actually spent much of your life here in Northern California, and you've done very well by racing cross, but it's also really a heritage thing. It's a lot like New England. There's a lot of these pockets in America, and people are really into it in Northern California, you going all the way back to the Presidio where there's a huge turnout. Just tell me about NorCal heritage.
The Northern California cyclocross racing is really, really neat. The Surf City Series has been around as long as I've lived here. Well, longer than I've lived here. I've been here only 8 years, actually. I'm from the Northwest. Which there's a great scene up there too. Yeah, there's a lot of racing going on. There's so much more. Like now, you can't even race mountain bike races locally anymore in this area. But there's races every weekend for cross. This season I didn't travel at all because I just didn't have the money and the funds for it, and I wanted to stay local. And I raced every single weekend in the Bay Area and Northern California, and so the extent of my traveling is going to be up to Portland for nationals and then over to France for worlds, I hope.
All right, RachelLloyd, you're really on form, so great job, and thanks for the time. All right, good job.